think you should.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Whoscussion. We're going to be finishing up this week with Letting Go, the 8th Doctor short trip. And by short, I mean it's proper short. And The Way of the Empty Hand. I'm going to be jumping into Letting Go. And basically this story picks up. And it's played as a sort of flashback story. Because Charlie, who is our sort of a POV for this, this feels more like a companion chronicle again. I kind of feel like this probably should have been a companion chronicle, but apparently, looking at the companion chronicle page on TARDIS Wiki, companion chronicles have no Doctor in it at all, so that's probably why. So Letting Go covers a flashback that Charlie has. She flashes back to a point that happens after Minute in Hell, and that was one of many moons ago. I will link that in the description. When we did Minute in Hell. But between Minute in Hell and Letting Go, there are a few novels, and since Harry and Scully and I don't have infinite time...
not even maximum time.
Not even maximum time. We can't read those 3 novels. So she references something that happened in the last novel being called You Had Me at Username and Password. And I kind of really want to read it on the premise of the name alone. Hopefully it doesn't suffer from our last novel, and just have random gobbledygook. But
yeah, basically, I hope it's all about artificial intelligence. It better be, and artificial intelligence falling in love. Yes, that better be it.
That's just there we go. Harry Scully's already sold. He's writing the sequel. So with Letting Go, Charlie. Again, she's talking in a flashback. She's talking about just after Minute in Hell. She references some things I don't want to spoil for Harriet Scully because I unfortunately have foresight into Charlie's future. And she flashes back to just after Minute in Hell, just after the novel You Had Me at Username and Password. And she talks about... she thankfully gives us a 2-minute recap of what happened in the novel previously, the end of said novel. And she mentions that a creature by the name of... Was it Sam? Is that their name?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was Sam. So Sam, who's this strange creature thing that's traveling with Charlie and the Doctor, ends up dying, saving... is it his world? It is his world, right? It was kind of vague. He was saving some planet. And
he was just saving just a ship full of people.
And so he dies with being a hero, basically, in the arms of Charlie. And the Doctor's sort of he's kind of disjointed from this. And the way that it's written and delivered by by India Fisher, rather, playing Charlie Pollard, is you get that Paul McGann feel. Paul McGann does that when people die and he's all like, it sucks, but I live kind of almost forever, so it's just one of those things that happens with the job. It is something that Paul McGann's Doctor does. We know that from especially Scherzo, when the Doctor's real cruddy, that Charlie's with him when he's like, I saved your life and you're here, I hate you. Charlie also references the fact that she's fallen in love with the Doctor. This is pretty early on in the adventures too, so I think he's just awesome.
It's like a few weeks in and she's already blubbering all over him.
Yeah, and the thing is that as we know from... also we know from Scherzo as well, the same story, coming back full circle here, he isn't in love with her.
Not even close.
Yeah, he's like, I literally just said that so you'd shut up and trust me. I don't love you. Remember that time
I love you as a friend.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I love you as a friend. Like, I don't know if you know this, but you're a human. Which is the evolutionary equivalent to my people as a dog, and I'm not going to make babies with my dog.
I mean,
so we find out from later on.
It's more like
single cell organism.
No, it's like those little fish like legged fish that look like kind of like fat ocelots that crawled out of the ocean at one point. If humanity is Time Lords, then Charlie is one of those little fat ocelotls.
She really is.
And like all the other blondes that are human.
So yeah. Funny reference there, eh? Just a little bit of a sore spot for me. Screw you, RTD. I suppose that's why it's also not enough for race drink. But
if I'd killed my entire race and then it's been 100 years, if I'd killed my entire race and then like was in a really bad way, I don't know, I might find one of those attractive.
Well, he did drink a heck of a lot while he was in France, so maybe he was still drunk there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't work. And I love that Big Finish pushes that home that it doesn't work. I also love that recently Stephen Moffat in the husband of River Song. Not the husband of River Song. The what the hell was it called? It was called the Husband of River Song, eh? Yes, in the Husband of River Song, the Christmas special before the Ghost one. The superhero, not the spectral form. She outlines that the Doctor isn't in love with her either, because she's, and I love that because he's made it come full circle with the Doctor is he's into time ladies, because he would be into time ladies. His first ever marriage obviously was with Susan.
That's even if he's into anybody. He doesn't have to have.
Yeah, right. That's another thing. And that's something that I feel Stephen Moffat really pushed on with his run, is that he pushed the Doctor out of the whole being the boyfriend thing. Yeah. And I feel River was kind of introduced to show that aspect, that that's not who the Doctor is.
Yeah, especially with Matt Smith in there, is that his Doctor is completely not that. That's the point. To the point, there's also like Amy's whole role in it as well, is to show that he is absolutely not on board with that in any shape or form, especially even when it comes to extremely attractive ginger ladies. So.
Exactly, and like and Tom Baker bring that up as well. He goes, well, I suppose you're pretty, because like for him, she, Leela in that dress is just like, as Harry Shelley said before, is a fat axolotl, evolutionary.
Well, no, I mean, okay, like obviously they look exactly the same, that's the problem, is that it's not easy thing to wrap your head around, because Time Lords and humans look the same. Thanks to Rassilon, good job. Anyway, the thing is that it is simply it is a completely different evolutionary effect, because he's not only does he have inside, has he got a lot more different things going on, like two hearts, and he may not even like actually have like human working bits down there. So
we certainly know Susan does, though.
Yes. So it's weird, because there's no the way to explain it is really hard, because the best way to put it is he is hundreds of years old. He would have had crazy amounts of just general life experience. Not only that, is he thinks in milliseconds. Like he thinks faster than any other human being on the planet, and he would have developed a completely different just relationship and emotional grasp. His spectrum of sight and senses are completely different as well. Like he can sense time moving around him. There's no way that he would be able to connect with a human being in that way without it just being like on a simple level, like the same way that you would sexually want just a random lady on the street, like it's sure he could find humans attractive in some way because they look like time people, but he wouldn't have a proper relationship with one. It's not something that would happen. And I imagine I think it probably self-explanatory really when you look at it, is that's why he gives a half human, half Time Lord one to Rose. Because he knows that he would never be able to share the same feelings unless there was just human in him.
I hate how much of a get out of jail free card the Meta-Crisis Doctor is. And I just like that whole thing is just so pointless, because you could just get the Doctor say, look, we had a good time, but I'm a freaking alien. But hey, I'm not RTD. I'm not ready to drink. So
I've got two, basically. What else has he got two of? Yes, Jackie, I do have two of those. So I'm not fit for your daughter.
Just so you know. just so you know, Jackie Tyler. Oh, she's my favourite thing about the RTD run. But anyway, so we're going to back to Letting Go. So she's talking about her love for the Doctor, and she knows that the Doctor is just sort of... She knows that the Doctor is followed by death, and she's picked it up, I think, a lot faster than any other companion, really. She's like, oh, people die around you. Okay, cool.
Well, her kind of first story was when a whole lot of people died. So.
Yeah, exactly. And she's picked up on the fact that she's supposed to be dead as well, and quite early on, way before Neverland, which is interesting because I thought that's when she kind of found out about it. But way before Neverland, she's already going, hey, look, I'm supposed to be dead. And she remembers seeing him die, so that's a bit out of it. And the Doctor and Charlie decide to go to Sam's place, his house, and their version of, I suppose, East London flats. That's what the description felt like to me. It's like alien East London flats.
That's absolutely it.
So they go into an alien East London flat, and Charlie's bringing up the good old time she had with Sam, talking to his folks about how he managed to help people. His mother's flabbergasted that he was like a hero. She's like, my Sam, a hero? Get out of town. And that's just kind of sort of a coping mechanism with the fact that she's finding out that her son's dead. The government have covered up his heroic acts with, like, I think the police did it instead of him.
The explanation is that they've hidden it away because the problem was actually caused because humans are dumb and don't know how warp technology works. Even when they figure that out, they don't really know how it works because
kind of ties into our other story.
Humans are just like seriously. There's something that's
because they didn't want the public hating humans because they just opened up trade relations with them.
Exactly.
Yes, I remember. Yes, it was to stop xenophobia.
Yeah,
I remember now.
Stopped xenophobia, which is really smart. And basically, this is a message that goes out to all aliens listening to this right now. Humans are really dumb, and it's not our fault. You just need to to care about us, like we care about cats and stuff.
Oh, like cats even, that's way worse. So yes, think of us like cats. I definitely agree with that. But it's the story is it's very much a short trip. There's no adventure. It's just a short trip, much in the vein of I'd say the Sixth Doctor ones are a bit, for me, the most snapshotty. And this feels a lot like a snapshot where it's just the Doctor and Charlie went around for a cup of tea to talk about how cool this lady's son was and this dude, this little boy's brother was a hero and stuff like that.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of the original short trips, which is good because it's part of the original set of short trips, which is why it's so short. So yeah, it definitely fits in with the rest of the other short trips. It is a nice little character piece, basically.
Yeah,
it talks about some stuff that's happened, but it's all about Charlie's Charlie's just experience with this alien life that's going on and the emotions that they're having and her acceptance that the reason why the Doctor doesn't hang around is because he doesn't like dealing with this. Basically he doesn't like dealing with
uncomfortable the whole time as well. He's like, I kind of just want to go, and she's like, just stay for a cup of tea and a bicky. And I love that because I was like, they're just in East London on an alien planet.
They are. There's absolutely
right, there's a cuppa on. They're having a cuppa. They're having a chin wag, talking about stuff. And the Doctor's like, I really don't want to be here. And
not even if you were human, I wouldn't want to be.
I don't want to be here. And I liked that. It was a great snapshot moment. Charlie, again, as Harry Scully says, Charlie's learning about the situation, about why the Doctor doesn't want to do it. And it's because it's hard, basically. And the Doctor, he
done it a lot.
He kind of just looks at her and he goes, "Look, I see people die all the time. Like, that's just what happens around me. Like, people die." And she's like, "Huh." And they didn't make it all sappy and like RTD does. It was just like a fact. And like that's something I love about Big Finish is in Big Finish and Classic Who to a lesser extent, but I feel it's more prominent in Big Finish. People just have conversations.
Yeah, that things just happen.
I really wish people would just have conversations in New Who. Like, just have a conversation. I think the closest we get to that is with the Last of the Time Lords arc with David Tennant, is when Jack, Martha, and the Doctor sit down and eat fish and chips together. And
exactly. That
right?
was actually like a solid, fantastic piece of television.
Yeah, I love it. That's one of my favorite scenes ever.
Martha Jones was probably the one. Okay, excluding Donna Noble, was the best companion.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I think she's
David Tennant. She was so superb for that, and it is because of that very reason, is because of the humanity that brings to it, and the sitting down and talking is absolutely something that it is required.
Yeah.
And
because Martha forces it as well. When in her second adventure with the Doctor, she forces him to have a conversation, and I love that, because that's something that I wish modern Who would just do more frequently. Just have a conversation, and like that scene with the fish and chips, like that's I love that scene. I go back and watch that episode just for that scene, and like just have the people talk. And that's one thing I love about the Big Finish, is that a lot of Big Finish is conversation, because it's an audio form, but like when they need to have conversations, they're not going about everything. Like, people are just saying, hey, people die, all right? It's just something you have to get over. People die. That's just what happens. Especially humans. You guys can't regen. It's over. And then people just accept it, and they get on with it, and they understand. Especially, like, that's what I'm going to love when we finally start doing the monthly range, is the conversations that Ace and the Seventh Doctor have. It's so good. But that's what this is. This is just a conversation piece. This is the Doctor and Charlie literally having a cup of tea and a bicky with a family, talking about dead loved ones. And it's just... the way I can explain it, it's kind of like a beautiful portrait. Not like Da Vinci level, but there's something that you can hang up. People won't mention it over dinner or anything. They'll see it, they'll know you've got it, and just think, oh, that's kind of nice. And that's what this feels like to me. It's just a nice portrait of an event.
Which kind of, that's a nice way to end this, because that's basically how the story ends, is her getting given a picture for her to carry to remind her of Sam. Yeah,
exactly. And so with that, we move on to Karate, or The Way of the Empty Hand.
Yeah, this is significantly not that. If I can, this is a completely different segue away from that. Like, we need to move away from how deep that was, and just look at this in a way lighter note, because we've got Jamie, the second Doctor, and Victoria. The proper light-hearted Doctor feel, like on the lightest of heart notes. It is immaculate second Doctor, just magnifique. It's great. They've landed on, well, they haven't landed. They landed somewhere, and Jamie gets kidnapped.
Yes, I love it. The Doctor's like, why? Why?
Immediately, he goes outside. He gets kidnapped, and he gets kidnapped because he's a great fighter. Yep, that makes sense. That's definitely Jamie McCrimmon. And then Doctor follows, ends up in the same deal. The war world of Combatia. That's so second Doctor.
That is it's so second Doctor. I just imagine them all wearing spandex and those goggles from the War Games.
Yep, that's it. That's it right there, to a T. And then they put the Doctor into a fight, thinking, he's just going to get himself killed. Well, they put him and Victoria in a fight. I think he's just going to get killed. And the Doctor just outwits his opponents, and then is basically like, I'm not going to kill these guys. I don't kill like that. I generally get other people to do that for me. And then the Caesar guy is like, well, I'm not happy about this. And the Doctor's basically like, well, the true, he gets real philosophical about it. He's like, hey, the true warrior is one who can show mercy. And just as you would expect, the Caesar type character is not very pleased by this revelation, and sends at him a bunch of different bunch of different warriors to fight. And the Doctor outwits every single one of them in the most spectacular ways. It is great. Fighting like a cyber centaur thing.
Yeah.
But the horse part is like separate from the human part.
Yeah.
And he like talks the horse into wanting it to be more of a democracy scenario rather than the human part controlling
It's so
it.
great.
It's great.
Because like the human's like, what are you doing? The horse part's like, nah, I'm my own free person. It's like, hang on a sec. No.
Yeah, it's great. It's so perfect. It's if this you have no. There's no hard reason why you would not imagine this perfectly if you'd watched any Second Doctor story, because it is a Second Doctor story. There's no other way to put it. Like, I'm surprised that this wasn't just something that they like found in BBC, like that
like
they hadn't like
or...
like they found the script, like, and then we're just like, hey, this is actually a Second Doctor script. Let's just go ahead and record it. Like, that's what it seems like this is. It's like something that would have fit perfectly in with Jamie McCrimmon and Victoria's time with the Second Doctor. It's so perfect.
Come along, Jamie.
Yes, and Fraser Hines impersonation of the Second Doctor, perfect.
It's
like
it's so good.
I could not tell the difference. Like, he is doing perfectly the Second Doctor. It's great.
Because I love how because like the Second Doctor, Patrick Troughton as an actor, he had this ability to breathe while he was speaking. It's crazy. Like, he was like inhaling as he was saying like the next syllable in a word, and Fraser Hines can imitate that. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was.
It's so crazy.
So yeah, it plays out perfectly like that. The Doctor just being amazing, Victoria messing with some robots, Jamie organizing an escape. Then it all comes together with the Doctor totally winning the fights, all of them. Jamie finding his way out with the help of Victoria, and then them taking over Combatia.
Yeah, it's turning it into a democracy. It's so crazy.
Turning it into a democracy and taking everybody home. But ultimately, the best thing about this is that it's tying in the Doctor's knowledge of Venusian karate as well. Because, as we know, the Third Doctor, if he landed on Combatia, he wouldn't have, even though he totally could have defeated everybody with his wits, he absolutely would have just karate the crap out of
everybody.
He would have. The Third Doctor just would have won by just being the best. He just would have done it. So they point at that in this story by having the last battle he's going to fight against like this great holy crusader, and basically like him just being like, I'm a holy crusader. I'm actually going to fight you. You can't trick me. All that sort of stuff, because I'm a holy man. I stick to my word. I said I was going to do it. It's going to happen. And then the Doctor's like, well, okay. I guess I'm going to have to like get ready to brush up on my Venusian karate. I'm going to have to remember the teachings of this guy. And the Crusader's like, who? This guy. Oh, I'm going to put my sword down now. Okay. You were trained with that guy. Oh.
He's like, I don't even want to try. So
yeah, it's perfect. It is the best.
And it reminds me of like what Charlie brings up.
Yeah,
Charlie's like
my favorite short story. Yeah. It really is.
It's your favorite. That's awesome. This is a good short story to have as your favorite.
It is solid.
Yeah. I just because what's a good thing though is that it actually informs us that the First Doctor is the one who learned Venusian, was it karate? So
however you want to say it.
Yeah, because the story's called Where the Empty Hand, which is karate, and yeah.
Thing is that he says they've said it is both said Venusian karate and Venusian.
Yeah. So that actually reminds me of the fact that there's a character in this who's supposed to be from Japan, but his first and second name are not Japanese names at all. Like, they use Japanese syllables, but those aren't names. Yeah, they aren't even words. So
the TARDIS translation matrix.
Yeah, that's what I blame. I blame the TARDIS translation.
And that's also what I blame the karate aikido thing on as well.
yeah, depending on what martial art the person has heard of, like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Also, it's also because on Venus, I doubt they teach a Japanese martial art in any way.
And I absolutely agree. But the way that Fraser Hines performs this character is great because he only gives him a very light accent, very very light. It's very soft and it's good, and he doesn't like mix his words up and stuff. And I was like, couldn't we have had that in Talented Wing Chun? Or even just the best outcome.
All of those other Asian actors that they
they all spoke perfect English. Could have just hired them. But yep, no way. The Empty Hand is a great way to leave it. This story. I definitely suggest both of our short trips. Though to be honest, the Way of the Empty Hand is probably the better of the two.
Letting go is something that you probably want to do once you've in order. Anyway.
Yeah.
You want to, if you're going to be like us and not read the story, then fine. It obviously leads into it. It gives you some background, so it's fine. But if you want to actually listen to it, what I suggest is going canon wise, because then you understand what's going on. Even especially just knowing who Charlie is helpful. So just listening to her first story, probably the best bet for you.
And this takes place after her 4th adventure, so I mean if you pick it up then. But again, the short trips are like $1.50 American, 50p Great British Pound. So I mean pick them up. They're a good time. The Letting Go is part of the volume 2 box sets of the short trips, and I think all up that's like £5, so like $8 American. So yeah, so definitely pick it up. They're pretty good. I suggest the 2 classic stories that we did in part A as well, but they're available on like Hulu, and I think Netflix has Classic Who as well. So I mean, yeah, pick it up, give it a watch, and you guys enjoy your weekend.
Oh yeah.